Good morning, everyone. We are here this morning. It's been a while since we've joined on Zoom, but we've got a very special presentation as part of our legislative coffee series. Joining me this morning is Anna Sitton. Anna is with Anser Advisory. Anser is working with the County of Will. As some of you may know, and some may not know, there are still a number of grants and funds out there. This morning, we're going to be talking about funds specific from the American Rescue Plan Act, known frequently as ARPA funds. The County of Will had received about $134 million and have County Board and the Executive's Office have divvied that money into a number of buckets. One of the buckets is going to fulfill some grants for economic development. So there's about $10 million that is out there, and there's a deadline coming up soon. And there is a lot of information to sift through to make sure that you and your company or organization has a chance to apply for those. So I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to let Anna introduce herself and give us a broad overview about the program and the opportunity, and then we'll dive into some questions to talk a little bit further about the specifics. So Anna, we'll turn it over to you, and thank you for joining us. And I just wanted to, before I forget, I'll try to remember at the end as well, thank CITGO. CITGO is the sponsor of our legislative coffee series throughout the year. So special thanks to them. And Anna, the Zoom screen is all yours.
Great. Thank you so much, Mike. Happy to be here today and have an opportunity to share information about the Will County Comeback Program. This has been developed in partnership, as Mike mentioned, with Anser Advisory, who's supporting Will County in facilitating, disseminating, and implementing the programming and aid to those impacted as a result of COVID-19. What we'll be discussing here today is that aid to impacted industry. So the $10 million is available to those small businesses which may have experienced a financial hardship or an impact as a result of COVID-19. I'm going to share a little bit more about the opportunity, and then Mike and I will have some discussion and answer questions. And for reference, I am available for technical assistance after this call. You can email arpainfo@willcounty.gov. That information will also be shared via email to the mailing list for those involved with the chamber. So again, arpainfo@willcounty.gov for any additional questions or technical assistance after today's presentation. So as Mike mentioned, the application is currently open for those that have experienced an impact as a small business. It is due December 30th, 2022 by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is a hard deadline, so we do encourage folks to start the application early, and you can submit at any point prior to December 30th, 2022. The applications will be reviewed for compliance and eligibility through January of 2023. And for those selected as an eligible applicant, notification and execution of an agreement will take place in early 2023, expected to be February or March. If you are identified as an eligible applicant and enter into that agreement, the allocation disbursement may begin as early as May of 2023. Of course, that's dependent on meeting all the eligibility requirements and providing the requested documentation to be considered. And then again, after that execution of the agreement and once disbursement begins, you can be expected to receive funds within 45 days of providing the complete package of the reimbursement request. So just some key deadlines to keep in mind. Again, the application is due December 30th, 2022. For those that are interested, again, I mentioned that this is the aid to impacted industry. The application is online, so you can complete the application via the website. There is a link that brings you to the application to complete online. You may also print a PDF, fillable PDF version if you don't want to complete it in one sitting or want to collaborate with other partners. You have that opportunity to download the PDF and complete that, and it can be emailed to, again, arpainfo@willcounty.gov. And there's also quite a bit of information on the website as well. I do encourage folks to check there first, as well as seek information within the reference guide. And there has also been a FAQ issued as a result of ongoing questions and answers provided through the technical assistance portal. So a great deal of information available, and I'll turn it back over to Mike to answer some questions, ask some questions, and I'll provide some additional information about the process.
Yeah, so the Will County website is filled with information. They've put together a great page that has pretty much everything I think imaginable. And like you mentioned, the FAQ sheet is a nice addition as well. So now that we know where to find the information and how to apply, I think the biggest question that will be burning in people's minds is exactly what type of business and or organization would qualify for this assistance.
Sure. So this assistance, the Aid to Impacted Industry, is open to both nonprofit organizations and small businesses located within Will County. There's a designation that Will County has identified for prioritization. So it's those businesses and nonprofit organizations located within qualified census tracts. So those are areas designated by the federal government, and they are concentrated within the city of Joliet. There is one in Bolingbrook and a small one on the border of Cook County, at Will County and Cook County in Stager. That map will be shared and can be found on the website as well if you'd like to look to see if your business or nonprofit may be located within that area. That does not mean if you're not located within that qualified census tract that you're prevented from applying. We do encourage all small businesses and nonprofits to apply to get a better understanding of the breadth of need within the community. As I mentioned, nonprofits and small businesses all should apply, but those will be prioritized if they are located within or operating in a qualified census tract. The small business may not be more than 500 employees, or if you reference Section 3 of the Small Business Act, for your industry or sector as defined within that section, you could exceed that number of employees, but it would have to be demonstrated within the act that you still qualify as a small business based on your sector. So the rule of thumb is no more than 500 employees. And for those that have been considered impacted, you'd have to have experienced one of the following: a decrease in revenue or gross receipts, financial insecurity, increased costs as a result of the pandemic, which may be an increase in equipment, sanitization, vaccination, PPE, any measures taken to ensure that you're following or abiding by any of the state statutes that were issued through each one of the phases for protection of those in enclosed spaces. You may have experienced a capacity to weather the financial hardship, or have additional challenges in regards to covering payroll, rent or mortgage, or any other operating costs.
So Anna, just a couple of things on follow-up here. First of all, as far as the qualifications, it sounds like a lot of this follows the path of PPP and CARES Act funds that come out. So businesses should be pretty familiar if they're in one of those census tracts. I think it pretty much keeps along those same lines. But as you said, please get your information out and apply, even if you don't, as that's just a priority area first in line. But there is a wide range of organizations and companies that are available. And then the other thing, as you said, the demonstration as far as who is impacted and who's got the opportunity to apply. Again, it sounds like it is following pretty close to the guidelines that over the last 2 years, most companies should be pretty familiar with. Is that safe to say? Nothing's really been, changed around or reorganized in a massive manner.
Correct. No, not too much. And I think a couple key differences to keep in consideration is that CARES Act and PPE were short-term, addressing the immediate impact as a result of the pandemic, whereas the American Rescue Plan has been issued with more of a focus on recovery and resiliency within the community. So a couple key deadlines in regards to the funds themselves. The county has to be able to demonstrate how they expect to spend the funds by December 31st, 2024. And all of the funds have to be expended by 2026. So there is a greater lead time in regards to the allocation and then expenditure of those funds. And another key piece of information that this is incredibly essential for folks to take into consideration is there is no exemption for emergency circumstances. So if you received federal funds in the past and have not gone through the process of registering on sam.gov, the System of Award Management, you have to go through that process and obtain a unique ID, as well as register with that service for financial assistance. Again, it's sam.gov. That is a federal website. You do not pay for this service. It is a free registration. If you do find links that reference payment, that is not the direct website that you should be referencing. That information is included within the reference guide and the FAQ. So that is one of those minimum award terms and conditions that folks should be mindful of as they go through this process. So Mike, two key difference in regards to that, but generally speaking, yes, for as far as the financial assistance, it very much aligns with previous experience.
Perfect. Thank you for that information. I know you talked a little bit about the deadlines and the process through, but maybe just to review or reiterate, or if we didn't go into it far enough, as far as, you know, any follow-up emails, confirmation that it's been submitted. To my understanding, there's not a portal like there has been in the past for some programs. Can you just explain a little bit? That's one of the biggest questions we get is, I submitted it. I hadn't gotten anything. How do I know if it's been accepted, or when should I get the next step email? For a long time, there was with some of the programs, some fraud going on, that people were getting emails and they were afraid to open them. They would call here and say, should I open this? Should I not open this? Can you maybe dive into that just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you do go on to the website, it's willcountyillinois.org/ARPA-economic-development. Again, that website will be shared. You can complete the application online. So it's not so much of a portal directly related to the U.S. government, the U.S. Treasury, but it is a portal, an application online submission that the county has developed to ensure security through the process. You can select that online application button, and there's a fillable form that you can walk through. There is also a link that if you can't complete in a single session, you can select and save for later, and you should be emailed a link to continue the application. Once it is received and completed, I have access to the portal on the back end, and I am sending emails to confirm receipt. So you should only receive emails from arpainfo@willcounty.gov, myself, anna.sitton@anseradvisory.com. If you receive emails from other sources, we do highly recommend that you contact, again, arpainfo@willcounty.gov or myself. ARPA info is going to be the best and fastest source to reach somebody. But if you have any questions through the process, if you want to confirm receipt of your application, if you have questions or concerns, or would like a status update at any point, you can always contact ARPA info and will be responded to within 24 to 48 hours.
Great info. Thank you for that. Just a couple more things to go over, and I think we're probably got plenty of information out there to wrap things up then. Are you able to go over, it doesn't have to go over the whole list, but maybe just some of the required documents that people can start to prepare, or make that phone call to whoever it may be to help them assemble those documents?
Sure, absolutely. So there is a list within the reference guide. I always refer back to that for the most comprehensive list. It's not exhaustive, but it is quite comprehensive as far as the expectations of what should be included with the submission. So in addition to the application, there is also an area for document upload. You can also send those documents upload through the email address as well. And that includes the verification of your business. So current IRS W-9 tax form, your federal tax ID, most recent copy of your 990 or comprehensive annual financial report, any sort of audited financial statements. If you are located within a qualified census tract, that means you're considered prioritized or automatically eligible as far as the federal government is concerned. If you are not within that qualified census tract and want to demonstrate your impact as a result of the pandemic. Some of the items that we'd be considering reviewing for consideration would be the 2019, 2020, and 2021 tax returns. This allows us to see the difference in the impact from a regularly operating business year and the height of the pandemic. As I mentioned, the fiscal year audited financial statements, which may reflect your financial position, income statement, cash flow, and statement of activities. You can also provide the evidence to demonstrate your negative economic impact. That could be invoices demonstrating the increase in operations costs, past due mortgage or rent statements or utility bills, evidence of any reduction or inability to host events, fundraising activities, if you're a nonprofit. And then really it's dependent on the sector and the business. So if you experience something unique as far as your business or type of industry, we would welcome that information as well. I know there's a great deal of need within the community, and each business and sector is unique in their experience. So any additional documentation you have to demonstrate what the business experienced, we encourage you to provide that. You can't provide too much information. The supplemental documentation allows the reviewer to get a better sense and understanding of the financial impact the business experienced.
Yeah, well said. It never hurts to err on the side of caution by sending as much information as possible. And as you said, there are still companies out there that are struggling, maybe not struggling as much as they had in the past, but are still experiencing decreased revenue, increased cost. I know you said in the beginning, that's a huge thing. I think supply costs are just up all across the board for pretty much all industries. So before we wrap up, maybe if we can just do a quick broad overview reminder again. We probably can't put enough times out there, the deadline, where to apply, some of the quick hits, and then we'll wrap up from there. So I'll just let you do a little quick overview, and we certainly again encourage all of our businesses and nonprofits all out there, get your information together, hop on that website, make the submission, and see if you can get some assistance. So, and I'll let you do a little review.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, I can't stress this enough that technical assistance is available, and we do encourage everyone, if you have questions, concerns, to not only review the available material on the website within the reference guide and the FAQ that will be issued, but also to email arpa.info@willcounty.gov. Any questions you have, or if you'd like to schedule 15 to 30 minutes of technical assistance. We cannot assist you in completing the application, but we can answer any questions you may have to provide clarification or, ensure that you have a firm understanding of what to supply and how to be moved through that process. So please do email, review all the available material. The application is due December 30th. So technical assistance is available up until that time. However, with the holidays, the county is closed December 26th. That is a federal holiday. So that's one day that will not be available for technical assistance. So as soon as you're able to collect the information and submit an application, please do so. We don't want anyone missing out or waiting till the last minute to ask questions or get their information submitted. So the portal is open. Please do visit the website that will be shared with the group. And again, the application is due December 30th. So we encourage all folks to apply and look forward to all those submissions.
Well, Anna, thank you again for joining us this morning. A wealth of knowledge and information. I hope that our members will take advantage of this opportunity. We will have, as a chamber, information out. This interview we'll do and try to post on our YouTube channel for sure. Send out reminders through email and social media. We want to make sure that nobody misses this deadline. And if there's any questions, if for some reason you weren't able to write down the multiple times that we've mentioned it today, call me, email me at the chamber office. I'll make sure we get you in touch with Anna and or point you in the right direction to the website or the email address. And just one more time, thank you again, as always, to CITGO as a sponsor of our legislative coffee series. I think this is a very informative one for those. We still get people surprised, like I said in the beginning, that there are funds and grant opportunities still out there from the impacts of COVID. So, Anna, thank you for the work you're doing with the county. Kudos to the county for getting this program together and offering the assistance, as there's still so many out there that are in need. So with that said, we'll wrap things up for today. Thank you all for watching here, and you know where to find us if you need assistance, and we hope that you can get some funds to help things go along. So Anna, have a great day, and thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Bye.